Today on the Cooligans, in the first segment, we go over what's going on in Manchester because Mourinho is going to get out of the offices at Manchester United and take an immediate flight to America and coach an American soccer team. That's what better happen. That should be his next damn move.
That's right. And in the second segment, we bring some reason back to the show. We finally get close to resolving Strawgate. We've got on one of the funniest people we know, one of the coolest people we know, Joanna Hausmann. She joins us, and she does a couple rants. She talks about different ways that Latinos say things, so she helps us figure out exactly what the hell's going on this show. That and more on this episode of the Cooligans!
Hey, this is Alexi Lawless. There is nobody in U.S. soccer that is more important than the Cooligans.
Yeah, baby!
Buena mi gente. This is a very Latino episode.
Which is more Latino than the other ones.
So just everybody buckle your seatbelt.
That's right. If you happen to be someone who is white and listens to this show and it influences the way you speak, well, now you might just go out and get a guayabera, which is a shirt with 4 pockets, because, homie, you're going to be mega Latino.
It's like cargo shorts for your torso.
Yeah, but classy. And I know you're thinking, what's classier than cargo shorts? Not much, but guayaberas? Absolutely.
That's why you listen to this show, to be, just be influenced by just a different culture.
Fashion advice.
Welcome to the show, everyone. We are very happy to be here. Happy holidays. It's Hanukkah past. Kwanzaa's coming up. Christmas is on its way.
Dude, so many things.
So many things.
Mad things.
But we're excited to be here.
Just too many people getting presents. Too many people getting presents.
The studio's in a bit of a festive environment, right? Hackensack Meridian Health Stage 17 is like the lights. There's some Christmas stuff in front of us, so you can't see it on camera, but
I didn't even realize it was there.
Alexis doesn't care for holidays. Welcome to the Cooligans, everyone. My name is Christian Polanco.
And my name is Alexis Guerreros.
And together we are the Cooligans. We are your favorite stand-up comedians out in New York City at the top of Madison Square Garden.
Right above where the Knicks lose.
That's right. All right, but it's only Dubs up here. Okay?
Hell yes. They out here getting L's down there. We don't see nothing but Dubs up here.
Okay.
You know?
All right. And therefore, by proxy, you are also winning by listening to this show.
Mad W's, bro. We out here getting 3 points with everything we do.
So it's not only the funniest soccer podcast that you're ever going to listen to, but it is also what, Alexis?
The damn gulliest.
That's right. Okay.
Scrat.
Yes, very serious out here. Okay? We're bringing it back like it's the summer of 2017.
That's right. Scooby-Doo pop pop. What's that Dominican dude?
Scooby-Doo pop pop.
Yeah.
It's a great song. Look it up. All right, so.
What was that old one? The Blackberry. Remember that?
Watagatapitus Berry.
Wow.
I don't know why.
If you had any question about how Dominican this man is, he just proved to you, you should be the Prime Minister of DR?
No, dictator.
Dictator, cool. All right, cool. All right, little Trujillo out here.
Well, he's an awful man.
You could call me Lil Ruby Rosa.
So,
Which, by the way, they're making a movie about him, right?
No, I didn't know that.
The trailer's out.
Oh, okay, cool. I'll check that out.
If you don't know who that is, what is it? Porfirio? Porfirio. Such a Dominican name.
This guy was an...
he was the inspiration for 007.
Well, okay.
Did you know that?
I didn't know that. No.
Yeah, that's 100% true. I did not know that.
I can see that because he was the first Playboy.
Yeah, he was like what was it? The most interesting man in the world? That guy.
Yes. So,
but if he had like a long Don game,
Okay.
And by the way, it's in the movie.
Yes. Okay, so he's Dominican, the first Playboy in the world.
Yes, the first international celebrities wanted him, housewives wanted him, dignitaries wanted him, and they all got him.
So he was Dominican. He married one of Trujillo's daughters.
Mm-hmm. They sent him to Italy.
He was an ambassador for France.
Right.
The guy spoke French. He was also a Le Mans F1 driver.
Yep.
Dude did everything.
If it was dope, he's like, I'm going to do that.
And he could also lay down that pipe.
Well, apparently his pipe was way long.
Yes.
So much so that this is something you told me a while ago, and it only popped in my head recently because I was going to Ruby Rosa, which is a restaurant, which I kind of don't feel comfortable going in right now. Also because it's mad long. The restaurant's very long. It's a little uncomfortable. I have to sit at the head, you know? The 2-foot pepper grinder is named after him in Italy.
That's right.
Because it's named the 2-foot long pepper grinder. Picture a pepper grinder, you know, the thing with the top. I don't even want to touch it anymore. Why? The pepper should come out the other side if we're being completely honest.
The thing that you were doing right now is more of an Indian, Indian wedding.
They're like, why are y'all changing light bulbs? That's how Indians dance. They're like, they do the twist.
Yes. So, okay, everybody, go see the movie.
It's coming up, but it's going to be in Spanish.
Oh, well, then this is perfect because we're speaking to the people who will who will go see this movie.
And I'm not kidding when I say this. Guess who is producing the movie?
Who?
The Film Association of Dominican Republic. They're like, if we're going to get out any story about our people, it's going to be about one who hangs low.
All right.
Okay.
This is,
well, yeah, we're not going to make a movie about Santa because the Santa smash, though?
Yeah. It is put out by the Office of Dominican Penis Propaganda.
Yeah. We got to keep it going, baby.
The myths are all true, ladies. Or gentlemen, whatever you want. So, yes. Welcome to the show. Didn't expect to start that way, but it will.
Do you ever expect to start the way we do?
This is a soccer show, we promise. And we're promised to have a very good time. We are joined today by our guest, Joanna Hausmann, who you know from Flama. We worked at Flama. You saw her on Netflix. On
Netflix, Bill Nye show.
Bill Nye saves the world, saves the world, saves the
cares?
day.
You Bill Nye is all you need to know.
Why did I forget?
Yeah.
Anyway, so, but... Joanna is here.
Plus her own channel, Joanna Rants. You've seen her a million times. We've worked with her a bunch. I am so excited to have her on this podcast.
Yes, and
I'm a big fan.
We'll get to the bottom of Strawgate, right? That's really what she's here. That's really the main.
Just
point.
like a straw helps you get to the bottom of the cup, baby. Look at us, huh?
So welcome to the show again. We are excited, and yes, I hope you enjoy your holiday. So just a couple notes to the people because our podcast comes out on Wednesdays, but the following Wednesday is going to be Christmas Day.
Yeah.
And the following Wednesday after that is New Year's Day. So
that's right. You're going to wake up, and before you open your presents, kids gather around. We need to learn more words for straws.
No, so the studio is closed. But we don't want to not give you content because the
Cooligans take no vacations, my guy.
Sleep, okay?
Nah, bruh. Sleep was for the weak. The Knicks are downstairs sleeping, not us.
That's why they keep losing.
We out here winning.
Okay? Our eyes are bloodshot.
Yeah. We mad caffeinated, and we can't remember small tasks.
So what's going to happen, what we're going to do, even though the studio's closed, we are still going to put out some episodes of abridged episodes of.
We're gonna have some phone calls. We're gonna have some interviews. We're gonna do.
So yeah, the FC Dallas interviews with that are remaining with Dan Hunt and Ryan Hollingshead.
That's right.
So we're gonna put those out.
We waited to see who was not gonna leave the team, so those two guys are still there.
Dan Hunt traded for Tam.
Yeah,
what a weird move.
God damn.
Didn't see that one coming.
Wow. Dan, let's go live to Dan. What the hell is going on?
So we're gonna put out because you know that even though Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and then those days after, some people have breaks. You know, some people still have to go into work. Some people have to spend time with their families. And,
Which are both rough.
Rough, very difficult and very
They
challenging.
both suck. You don't want. Can I get a sick day from the family? Is that possible?
So
can I use a flex day on my family?
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go in and get them sick.
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna cough up on all the gifts.
Touching Nana's face.
Yeah. Get over here, Nana. Let's see how you can handle this common cold at your advanced age.
Oh, what'd you say about Trump, Uncle?
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's true.
That's true. Yeah, you get sneezed off for that.
Hell yeah.
So we're still gonna have some episodes that you guys can listen to, some new stuff. So make sure you do that. And again, we hope you have a very good holiday.
And I want to update everyone on something that happened over at MLS Cup. We had talked about the cab driver that we had.
Yes.
That was a big fan of the team, but was trying to get Diane Simpson, I believe.
Yeah, Diane Simpson.
We were trying to get her to go to a game because she said that she was trying to get tickets for her and her grandson.
Yes.
And they couldn't. And I don't know. Should I say his name? A fan.
A couple people actually reached out and
Okay,
offered. Yeah.
I only saw this one.
Yeah, I saw there was another one as well. But yeah, I don't see that. There's no problem. Yeah, just say
You
it.
sure?
Yeah.
Well, then shouts to Patrick Greer at Firebreak. He
Who
reached.
offered, yeah.
He offered. He said, "Hey man, just heard the podcast. If you find the driver, I can get her 2 tickets to a game next season. Obviously, I'm not sure when, but he'll do that. Which is how incredible is that
Very
people
nice, yes.
reached out.
And we also got a message from from Vicious Vixen on Instagram.
Okay.
And
Fuck that draft. She's so vicious. Yes.
Wow, you didn't need to do that one. No,
So appropriately named.
Her name is Jenna, and she reached out, another Atlanta United fan, and also offered tickets.
Wait,
as
is
well.
that the one who's the porn star? Isn't there a porn star?
Why would you? If you say that, you have to be sure that it's right.
I asked. It was a question with a question mark at the end.
I don't know. I know that there is an Atlanta United fan.
Yes,
That I don't know if she does pornography, but this is not the person
Okay.
who does
All
pornography.
right. Well, then it was just a question.
I know she might do something. I think she's like a webcam person.
Isn't that considered? That's in the category of.
I don't know what you watch, and I don't know what is your flavor.
That's considered part of that world. No.
Sure. It would fall under pornography.
Okay.
I
Well,
guess.
but that's not the person I'm
But you
thinking
said
of.
porn star. I wouldn't call him a porn star.
Well, you don't know how well they do. Were you checking views?
I know a cam girl is not a porn. Like everybody, let us know. I mean, this is gonna cause another debate.
What's the Chilean word for cam girl?
Is a cam girl also a porn star?
I think they can be. I think there's some that are very popular. No?
Sure. To me,
You think they're all upstarts?
but to me, a porn star is someone who is like having
Like name recognition.
or having sex on camera, like having sex with someone.
What do you think? They're reading the Bible during these webcams?
No, but it's usually solo stuff that they do. With
I
the
don't know that
webcam
that's the
stuff,
case.
Okay, I'm just
Yeah.
saying, bro.
I don't think that that's the case. Why are we talking about this?
Because you brought it up.
I didn't bring it up.
You asked if
I asked if that's the one. There is an Atlanta United
why,
fan.
But why ask if you're not sure?
Because I thought that was the name. What do you mean, why ask if I'm not sure? How else do you find out besides asking?
on the show.
That's how questions work, dumbass.
Anyway, so
Well, by the way, if the porn star wants to give tickets too, I'm sure she would want to go.
thank you for the porn stars and non-porn stars offering
Regardless of what you do for
tickets.
work.
I-
or
I-
your various
I
states of
think I
undress
was
at
looking.
work.
I was.
You want to go past this so bad.
Well, let's just move forward. Yes. We always get a lot of support from listeners who are porn stars or not porn stars.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We're happy for all of you guys.
That leave amazing reviews and are incredibly supportive. And leave a review on iTunes. There was an iTunes.
Did we get them back?
Scare. Yes, we did get them back.
Oof.
But yesterday, every single podcast lost half of their reviews.
Oh my God.
And for the most part, I think most podcasts don't really care about they're like, all right, leave a review, whatever.
Right.
But our reviews in particular are so specific and so funny that
It's
it
a
would
part
be,
of the show.
It would be a disaster if
Yeah.
they disappeared. So I'm glad that they are back. And I almost threw my iPhone in the river.
Yeah.
And then I was.
And you don't live near the river, so that's
I'm Dominican. I can
Yeah.
throw. I can throw pretty far.
He curves it. Breaking ball as soon as it gets past the edge.
I did want to read this review because it made me very, very happy, and it was this was and very specific to our time in Atlanta last week. We were obviously there for MLS Cup, and this is a review from Gabe Lajas.
I saw this.
And Gabe is an Atlanta United fan that lives in Tennessee, if I remember correctly. He came to our show in Atlanta when we were for the World Cup Comedy Tour. Great dude. He is the Southern Cuban. Remember? Cuban with the super Southern accent.
It blew my mind. You have to not be one of those two things. You can't be both.
Unheard of.
He's like, how y'all doing? I'm mad Cuban.
Well, so this is the.
Also, can he send us a voice memo of him in a Southern accent saying, my guy, my guy?
So this is the subject. Says extremely disappointed. All right, now I'm a little worried, but it's 5 stars.
So it's about you.
So
By the way, you know some of our reviews, because they're sarcastically written, they pop up, even though they're 5 stars and they're very complimentary, under most critical. If you
sure.
if you do it, it comes under most critical, and it's like, I absolutely love you guys, but you have no idea what you're talking about. You know, it's like that kind of stuff.
Hey, backhanded review. I love it.
I'll take it. I think there's almost more most critical than there are most helpful.
So he said extremely disappointed, and then Gabe says, I'm extremely disappointed disappointed in Christian Polanco.
I told you.
Wow, just straight up my government, right? He goes, he came up to me after the final on Saturday and said, "Hey," and congratulated me on my 5 stripes winning the cup. He took a picture with me and was an overall awesome guy. So this is I don't know what you're disappointed about.
I want to start by saying, how dare you, and I apologize on behalf of us all.
Wow, this is this is someone you want your daughter to marry this person. These are all very good qualities. so I did. I was walking. This is when I was also looking for Siempre United.
Yeah.
Bumped into Gail. I was like, yeah, it was good. I recognized him. And he goes, and was overall an awesome guy. He goes, however, he did not ask me what I considered the proper term for straw.
And had he?
And then he goes, and then in all caps, he goes, "How dare you disrespect me like that, my guy?"
Yeah.
And he goes, "For real, the Cooligans have been a weekly staple since Jay Riddle turned me on to them." Shout out to Jay Riddle.
Shouts to Jay Riddle, the plug.
Even though they are NYCFC fans, they're able to speak objectively about the entire league.
Thank you.
Thank you. We tried our best.
Are you listening, Red Bull fans?
And are truly passionate about the sport. I get mad gully every time I listen. Keep up the great work. Gabe Lajas, the Cuban with the southern accent.
Absolutamente, my guy.
Shout out to Gabe. Thank you so much, man.
And that's very important for today's episode because we're going to solve it. Well, we may not once and for all, but we'll get closer to it.
That was. I'm glad I got to bump into him and his son. He was there, but he was the happiest. Gabe and his son were lit as hell. They were so happy.
That whole city was excited. It was amazing.
Happy for the good for them. All right, cool. So, all right, let's move forward and talk about some of the things going on in soccer, right? Obviously, we got to start the big news, all right? Because this is how the Sun is reporting. TMZ is reporting.
Dude, how is this big news? It's leap year. It comes around every few years. Honestly, it's not that big of a deal. But Mourinho has left Manchester United.
It's official. The Brexit is official for Mourinho. He is out.
Theresa May, vote of confidence has gone through.
Edward was like, "Hey, there's the Brexit." Anyway,
What is it, a scone? Go ahead.
Get out of
Go
here.
get it. Is it good? Because we put extra butter
So
in the Brexit.
Mourinho's gone. Obviously, they just lost to Liverpool. They're just not a great team.
Somebody put how dumb America waited, or the U.S. Soccer waited 14 months to hire a middling MLS coach when a few days later Mourinho becomes available. And I will go on record as saying I can't think of a worse idea than Jose Mourinho being the manager or head coach, whatever the hell you want to call it, of U.S. men's national team.
Just him being
The only worst idea is him being the manager of the women's team.
I don't even want to know what that will be like. You know?
Well, no, because
He's gonna sit Alex Morgan or what?
No, Morgan and Hope Solo and Sidney LaRue will be like, "What the fuck did you just say?" And Mourinho would be scared. He wouldn't be able to do that talk.
Yeah. I honestly, some people are tossing out that idea of like maybe LA Galaxy has a coaching vacancy. Maybe he reunites with Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Right?
I would love to see Mourinho get a question about TAM. Oh,
it would be entertaining. I honestly think with the quality players that I haven't seen Mourinho in the last 15 years without all-stars on his team.
No, that's first of all not true, right? Because he can make some players better than they are, Fellaini in particular.
Okay.
But here's the thing. What's Mourinho's style of play? It's super what?
Park the bus.
Yeah, defensive.
Defensive, yeah.
LA Galaxy were the worst what team last year?
Okay.
It solves everything. And how do you beat LAFC?
Okay. Well, maybe.
What's a bigger personality than Will Ferrell chanting with your fans? You got a Falcon. What beats all of that? Zlatan, a little bit. But Zlatan needs to find the magic
you think
every time.
Mourinho's a bigger personality than Zlatan?
100%. In this world, in our world, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Dude, instantly would make LA Galaxy way more a bigger draw in that market. I am all in. And also, if you're the Dos Santos brothers, you got nothing but to be able to play. Like, you better go out there and try your hardest because you know that dude's going to call you out. And how frustrated will he be when he can't just go buy a player for $100 million?
I mean, look, it would be entertaining. Part of me feels like whatever team he ends up, if he ended up coaching an MLS team, how boring would that team be to watch?
You know what? I think you forgive that. Here's the thing. I don't, like, if you ask Taylor Rockwell, right? Big Manchester United fan. If you ask him, I don't think he'd say Manchester United was boring these past few years with him. I agree that it's a boring style of soccer, but I don't think it's boring to watch because the cool thing about soccer is you always know that there's something after the final whistle. And when it's Jose Mourinho, you're excited about that.
No, that would be fun.
It's part of that drama. It's part of that soap opera.
I would whatever team we would have to fly to every post game and be there.
100% media credentials. Every game.
Cooligans asking Mourinho questions.
We're back. Oh my God! Imagine he becomes an all-star manager and we actually get to ask him questions.
I mean, that would be just a dream come true.
Just to watch, you saw how Schmetzer rolled his eyes at me.
Oh, sure.
And he gave me the old Chris Armas thumb
I mean, we
point.
were in the room, trying to talk to Zidane and he's not as eccentric.
He's very stoic.
He's very stoic. It's not as fun. Asking Zidane a question, although in honor.
Yeah.
Not the same as asking Mourinho.
I got Tony Cruz to laugh. That was a big honor.
Yeah.
They got personalities. Getting Mourinho to ban me from future events, which would happen instantly. We all know that would happen instantly.
So yeah, big news. I think it's not too much of a surprise, obviously, but whatever. It does affect the global soccer, right? Because he is such a big figure, and the rumors start immediately. He is a media machine for clicks, for just. What is his next move?
I can't think of anyone, and I've said this like 2 or 3 times. Zlatan was one of them. As a manager, I can't think of someone that would bring more publicity to this league, positive and negative, than Jose Mourinho.
Yeah.
I can't think of it. Now, national team, terrible idea. MLS, bring him in.
I wonder
bring him in.
I wonder if he would do it. I know MLS would bring him in a heartbeat, but would he do it?
Think about it. He's worn out his welcome in Premier League. He's worn out his welcome in La Liga.
Yeah.
The only other options for him are Ligue 1, Serie A, maybe some lower league, like another league that's not at that level, which I don't think he would want to go. I don't think he'd want to go to Serie A, although they love the defensive style of play. So maybe I could see him at like an AC Milan or something like that, maybe. But for the most part, MLS is now an option, because it just stands apart from all the other leagues. And it's one of those things where if you come here and you're successful, everyone is watching.
You think Zlatan is calling him, being like,
that used
texting him a little
play
bit?
with him. Yo, you brought me. How about I bring you? You know what I mean?
Okay.
Do you know what GAM is? Okay.
Because it'd be just great. Just like,
or what if weed's legal and he just becomes like weed's legal down there? What if he just becomes mad chill? You're like, whatever, man.
I just love the idea of like LA Galaxy being like, trying to get Caleb Porter, and Caleb Porter's like, nah. Then Mourinho just comes in next. Like, what a weird world.
Caleb's like, I'm going to Columbus. Who'd you get? You got what? That's like you tell a girl no, and then you see like Channing Tatum later. You're like, damn, bro.
Okay, wow.
Maybe I messed up.
Anyway, so it is pretty interesting. And speaking of LA Galaxy, yes, Zlatan officially, they did a nice little video. He is re-signed as a designated player to the Los Angeles Galaxy.
And they played all the clips of all the ESPN and all these reporters saying he might go to Egypt, he might sign with AC Milan.
Yeah.
All that, and he's like, you got it all wrong.
Yeah, look, it's entertaining.
It really is.
I'm
Zlatan and Mourinho together. Now you know you in trouble.
What was that from?
It ain't nothing but a G thing, baby.
So it would be entertaining. I'm glad he's coming back because I think another year of Zlatan in American soccer is gonna be healthy for this country.
I think Mourinho's gonna do tracks with Kendrick. I mean, it's just gonna be. Mourinho might pick Blood or Crip. He might pick one.
Yo, get Mourinho's on all the features. He's like, yo, is he a new Drake?
Yo, he just takes a song and remixes it. He's Mourinho. He does what he wants.
So that is exciting. But let's another big move, coaching move. FC Dallas.
They picked the guy from the youth development squad.
Lucci, who we talked about.
Lucci Gonzalez.
A couple weeks
born
ago.
and raised in Hialeah. Ya tu sabes.
Was he?
Dice absorbente.
I don't know if he was born there, but he's
It
from
says
there.
born in Hialeah.
Okay.
Yeah, unless Wikipedia is wrong and it's never been. So, but he's not. He's Peruvian and white. He's half Peruvian, half white.
Okay.
But whatever. He grew up around a lot of Cubans, so you know the dude knows what a ropa vieja is supposed to taste like. You know what I mean? He now runs. He used to run the youth development. Now he is the manager of the team. But I don't think a lot's going to change for him because supposedly they're just going to go with a full-blown youth movement. down at FC Dallas. FC Dallas basically like, look, we're an academy that gets to play in MLS.
Yeah, some FC Dallas fans are not happy about that. But the weird thing is that they always seem to be successful up until a certain point.
I mean, also, like, this is kind of the culmination of their system. It is a bit of a cop-out from having to match the likes of LAFC and Atlanta United for going out and buying stars and doing that. It is a bit of a cop-out in that sense, for sure. We can't hide from that fact, okay? But it's kind of what their system has been set up for anyway. They've had their youth players train against the senior team, the first team. Now it's like, let some of these kids get that chance. Everyone's out here saying, let the kids play, let the kids play, play your kids, play your kids, play your kids. Well, FC Dallas is like, all right, let's see what happens if we do. So this could be terrible, and then they'll change course. This might derail some careers because maybe it's a little bit too much pressure to put some of these young players in right away. Or you never know, man. The next World Cup cycle is 2 years away. Like, we might find one or two players in this system now that we didn't know of before. So there's a lot of question marks. How do you feel about it? What if your favorite team did this? How would you feel? If you were a fan of FC Dallas, how would you feel?
I think there's different circumstances.
No, do it in a southern accent. No, I'm joking. FC Dallas.
There's clearly different circumstances, and I think the underachieving narrative at Dallas has been going on the last couple years. Outside of, they did win a Supporters Shield, in 2016?
Oh, they've had success.
They've had success. So it's weird because, like, the fans can't be absolutely furious, but they can. There's other issues. It's almost like everything. The issues with the team are not with, like, the play in itself. They're gonna have a strong foundation for a long time. It's the stuff we heard about connecting with the community and getting more people to games and not prioritizing other events at Toyota Stadium over the soccer. Like, there's a lot.
And I think some of the fan base is looking at DC and saying, they went out and just got one name, and look at what changed with the ticket sales.
It'd be nice.
So they were teetering on this like major success, and now they're just kind of cutting that rope. They're cutting the line, I should say. So I do get that bit of frustration. It was like, we were so close. I do get it if you're an FC Dallas fan, and we met some great people down Beer Guardians and what is it, Red Brigade or something like that. There was like the other group, whatever. Long story short, they were great people. There's people there. There's people there. We met them.
There's people. They got cowboy hats on.
Yeah.
I know.
One guy had both eyes. It was great.
Speaking of playing your kids, there was an interesting story that a lot of people sent us that was really, really entertaining to us. In India,
this is real. They're taking youth development to a new level.
we don't really talk about Indian soccer too much.
The Indian Super League, they got some of the hottest, dopest jerseys in the game, though.
That's right. So there was a player by the name of Gaurav Mukhi. And they said on October 7th, he broke a record. He became the youngest goal scorer in the history of the Indian Super League.
Which is great. 16 years old.
16 years old. It's
look,
Freddie Adu, all right?
But you look at, in more ways than one, you look at that, like Indian Super League is one of those where they only brought in old names like Robert Pires, who hasn't played at Arsenal for a long time. He played there like 2 years ago, Diego Forlan. Yeah. Like, these guys are at retirement age. I think there's only like 9 teams. It's a very short season. It's more of a promotional thing than really like a soccer league. Now it's becoming more of a soccer league. 16-year-olds scoring. There's no way that could be a negative.
So the kid, quote unquote kid,
which, by the way, full on mustache,
strong mustache,
man-like mustache.
Yeah,
a little bit of a beard.
We've seen 16-year-olds.
I had a mustache at that age. Not like that.
I did not have a mustache.
You still don't have one.
I still do not have a mustache. I cannot grow this kind of mustache, even at my advanced
You
age.
could have played this off as a 16-year-old.
So, October 7th becomes the youngest goal scorer in history of the Indian Super League. And then 2 months later, he is suspended for 6 months for lying about his age. He's actually 28 years old. Just great.
My dude practically went half.
What a strange... This is... and the reason I relate to this story and why I want to bring it up, because Dominican baseball players...
Oh, yeah.
This is...
Yeah, your birth certificate's written in crayon.
This is the story of Dominican baseball, right?
Who was the kid, the pitcher? Everybody knows this person. The youth...
Yes.
Children's World Cup. It's not called that.
The
the Youth World Cup? What's it called?
The
World Series.
the World Series
of
what's it called? Yeah, the youth. No, what is it?
No.
Now I don't remember.
Oh, now you laughing at me.
No, but just the children's. It's just funny. Anyway,
Little League World Cup. Little League World
Little
Series.
League World Series.
I figured it out.
Yes. The what? Yeah, what was his name?
You know what I'm talking about. This kid was an amazing pitcher, 14 years old. Turns out he's 19.
Yes, he was. I think he was 18, and he was like
Pitching against kids.
like the 14-year-old.
Yeah, he's by the way, he was throwing heater. He was throwing heat after heat after heat.
Yeah. But this is Danny Almonte.
Danny Almonte.
This.
Who tried to get in the league, by the way. I think he was.
Yeah,
He's playing like in the Caribbean League.
Yeah. He ended up not making it, but it was a great story for a little bit. I remember.
Well, not so great.
He was very. So no, but this is very common where they in Dominican Republic you have to lie about your age.
To get a contract.
To get a contract.
You know, if I suggest doing it, I'm a bad person. You're saying in the Dominican, you got to do it.
No, I'm not saying you have. Like, it's just part of the poverty that kind of leads them into that situation. But there's a couple players. There's a bunch of Dominican players that have made it to the major leagues and have been way older than they actually were.
Yeah.
Or who just lied about their age. Like some, they said that they were younger. So it's very common. So
El Duque did it. Okay. My uncle played with El Duque when he was a kid. And when El Duque said El Duque was a pitcher for the Yankees, if you don't know, when he said he was like 34, my uncle was like, no, he's not. He's like 42.
Yeah.
But he was, baseball is one of those things, like if you throw the ball a certain way, your muscles don't ever really like wear down as fast.
Sure.
So, and he was one of those pitchers that like he threw his leg real high.
He had a weird delivery, yeah.
Yeah, very odd delivery. So he was like 40-something years old, claiming to be like 8 years younger than that.
Yeah. But I mean, he had to escape Cuba and the whole thing.
You got to do it.
His
speedboat, by the way. The Yankees got him a speedboat to escape Cuba.
Look at that.
Let's do it. that's Grandpa Steinbrenner. He knew what was up.
Just Miami Vice out
there.
So that was a funny story. Another thing I wanted to bring up. Dom Dwyer. Dom Dwyer was in the news recently because
he made his own news. He made his own.
He's creating his own narrative.
Yeah.
But Dom Dwyer tweeted out that he was looking for. He's in Orlando. He's like, hey, does anybody know a soccer pitch that I can go train on because I just got kicked off the pitch. So I thought this as well. Pretty much everyone thought that he was kicked off Orlando City's training field.
That's what I assumed up until right this moment.
It's
what
like,
happened?
Where else would you be?
Yeah,
right?
You'd go to the place your team owns.
That's go to work. Just go to work.
I'm not allowed to use my computer at this other person's office. I can't sit down in this office of a building I don't work in.
So it was clarified that he was at a public park training, but everyone thought like, yo, here goes Orlando.
Being Orlando.
So it's pretty funny. But now that I learned that he got kicked off a public park and he was asking on Twitter for help of where to play, to me that's even funnier.
Yeah,
like,
it's way funnier.
Aren't you like connected to the soccer people where you
don't know someone you could text? And also, go to work.
Just go to work. Was it traffic or something?
I think you live near a place, and I guarantee you know how to get there, where you could just go train.
At least tell us what the issue was of why you couldn't go to the office and just do work where you're supposed to do the work.
I like to think he was at the public park, and it was one of those women wearing Oakleys, a white woman wearing like Oakley sunglasses, just called the cops on him.
Yeah. Because look, the tweet itself specifically said, looking for a place to train, unfortunately kicked off the pitch at our own training ground today. So as soon as he says our own training ground, I'm like, all right, he is in Orlando City's training ground. So he must have been kicked off of it. By whom? What's going on?
Yeah.
All the rumors start.
Was it Kaká? Is he back?
Kaká back? He's like, this is mine now.
Yeah, I take over.
So just a very strange. It's a very strange. He probably shouldn't have tweeted it. I mean, there's no other way. Or just ask like, yo, where can I go play at? Looking for a pickup game.
Yeah.
be a bit more vague.
Ask
than-
Cal Martino. He's right.
You're at Street FC.
Yeah.
Like, you run anything out here, you go. Eddie Johnson has a training ground. That you
Not
can-
that far. He's in Orlando.
He's in
isn't he?
Orlando. Yeah, go out there, work with him.
Come on, dude's Gully.
Yo.
By the way, fans, tweet at Eddie Johnson. We got to get him on
Yeah,
the show.
we would love to get Eddie Johnson. Eddie Johnson is just a beast on the internet.
Dream get.
Dream get. If we tweet at him, just be like, "Yo, the Cooligans would love you. Would be great on the Cooligans. Get on their show. Hopefully, he'll respond. We can't
Please.
can't get
We
in touch
mean
with
that. Like, please tweet at him. Please, please, please.
Uh,
or Instagram him. Comment on his Instagram photos, videos.
Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. Last thing before we get to our segment with our guest, the new player format that we did talk about on the last episode.
Yeah.
It was a rumor, right?
Even though it was like unofficial
we
paperwork.
leaked it. And now it's official. So the new playoff format in 2019, single elimination. It will be 7 spots. There will be 7 seeds in each conference.
All single elimination.
All single elimination.
The only bye is the first place. So the only people that get a bye is the first place team. So
Correct.
no more second place buys.
So a big deal if you win the Supporters Shield or you're in
Or the
first
Eastern or
place
Western Conference,
and-
yeah.
and Western Conference. So now the reaction, a lot of people, some people are very happy. I think this leads to more excitement. We saw in the knockout games this year. I thought they were very, very entertaining. So I'm cool with it. So as from an excitement standpoint, some people are mad, one, that there's another playoff spot. They added, that 7th in each conference. Some people feel it's too few games to end up winning MLS Cup. If you get that bye, you would only have to win 3 games, and then you are the champions of the league. So look,
I get it, but
I get it.
you know.
I mean, it's like 3 games or 6 games.
But sometimes, and I mean, point at Atlanta versus Red Bull. There's almost like it doesn't matter if you lose that second one. If you've won the first one by so many.
In any of the 2-legged games, the series, did anyone who lost the first leg win the second? Like end up winning the series in this?
Not this year. I
Not
think
this
last
year.
year was Columbus.
Okay.
Remember they lost 1-0 and then won.
No, last year.
That might have been this season.
No. Last year they beat NYCFC.
I think Red Bulls lost to Columbus in the first leg and won in the second.
Only
yeah.
one. So there's not many instances where that really happened. Like usually, whoever kind of wins the first leg usually ends.
Well,
up.
now home field advantage is by far the most important thing.
Exactly. So
You either finish in first or you get home field, and that's it.
We can't have it all, right? Because the main reason this is
And
happening.
everyone was complaining about the international breaks. Yeah.
This is the main reason people were complaining is that long break between playoff matches, between rounds, and this resolves that. So you can't have it all. You can't have 2 legs and fitting within those international breaks.
Yeah.
And so it just can't be done. So something has to give, and then this will be the next thing that we try. And look, we've been doing this show 3 years.
3 years. 75 years.
75.
Yeah.
We've been doing it 3 years. And how much has the MLS changed in just the 3 years? When it
Incredibly.
TAM, GAM, youth, TAM, whatever.
Youth transfer
youth
funds.
transfer funds. It's like the league has changed astronomically in just a little amount of time. So this is, as an American soccer fan, as an MLS fan.
We're now a selling league as of the conference that they just had.
Yeah. Garber he was just like, no, I changed my.
You're right.
What? I didn't say any of that.
Yeah, no, what? You must have heard wrong.
Yo.
I've been saying we a selling league, my guy.
Why are you spreading all these rumors about me?
Yeah. In fact, you better be out there selling. I don't know what you in here listening to me
So
for.
this is a league that's still figuring out its identity, and this is part
Yeah.
of it. So we can.
Here's my only complaint. I like the single four. I want to see it. I want to see a single elimination format.
Yeah.
Here's my complaint. I think the MLS Cup should have happened after the international break. And whatever players are taking part in MLS Cup, they can't be a part of that international break. It's a friendly anyway, so who gives a shit, right? I think you give every team, let their players rest, and that way you have the strongest possible team play in MLS Cup. And it's the best game.
All right, whatever. It's an idea. I don't like it.
Why don't you like it?
Because I love the condensed it being finished in those
But that's the
3.5
playoffs.
weeks.
The playoffs, oh my God, builds all this momentum, and then
And then
what's
boom.
Then
And then-
nothing's bigger than MLS Cup.
And then the MLS Cup is in, but there is a break. There is I believe, like a 6 or 7 day break from the last playoff game to the MLS Cup. So the players will be rested.
That I'm okay with. Okay, yeah.
So
all right, you know what? Now I approve.
Yeah.
So go ahead and do it, MLS.
Even I did see Patrick Mullins tweet about it and say that he likes that it's more condensed and it'll be done before that break. So now MLS Cup will be in November instead of December.
So before Thanksgiving, yeah.
Yeah. So this is it's going to be great. So what it's going to end up doing is condensing the regular season schedule as well. So there'll be more midweek games.
And also, cold weather cities are less of an advantage.
Yeah. It won't be as cold. So we'll see. 2019 is going to be interesting. I think it's going to be fun.
I can't wait.
A very different look at Major League Soccer.
How much of a break was it between the last game and MLS Cup this year?
It's you have the international break, so it's at least 12 days, something like that.
All right, so it's not that big of a difference. 7 to 12. I mean, it's
Okay, whatever.
I'm just trying to think of the new format, guys.
So it'll be good. All right, so let's get to our next segment because we are super excited, and I know some people have been asking, like, "Hey, maybe you should get some non-soccer people, get some comedians on the show." And this is, and we're absolutely thrilled to have our next guest on the show because she's
so happy to have
awesome,
this person
and we can sort out some of the Latino debates that all the people in the Midwest are very concerned about.
Everybody, white people are worried about us, guys.
So we'll be right back with Joanna Hausmann after this.
Hey, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. We just wanted a word from one of our sponsors, us, me, you.
you, the Gully Squad.
Gully Squad.
You guys know, if you guys haven't heard about the Gully Squad yet, if you want to support the show, you want to support the Cooligans, you want to help us make more content, help do more of those, second episode a week things that we've been doing, right?
Yeah, this is the chance to really become, you're not just a fan of soccer, you're a supporter of your favorite team. Now you get a chance to be a supporter of the Cooligans.
That's right.
If you go to our website, if you go to soccercooligans.com, you'll see a little thing that says Join Gully Squad. Click on that. And what that is, it's kind of like our own little Patreon, right?
Yeah.
You could subscribe to us. There's a couple different values, and every month you'll give us a little bit of money. And that little bit of money all together as a community lets us go out and make that content and pay for better editors and flights to those events that we cover for you guys. All those things. It really gives us a chance to really make this what we want it to be.
Exactly. And people have been absolutely great and supportive, and I love the community aspect. And we have that super secret Facebook group.
We don't even know if it exists or not.
Who knows? Nobody really knows.
No.
It's very vague.
But there's a lot of great comments on it.
But there's a lot of opportunities to connect with other Cooligans fans and also
inspire what's on this show.
Exactly. You can ask us questions. You want us to talk about certain things, suggestions for the show, guests that you may want us to reach out to. You have the opportunity if you are a Gully Squad member.
Or you can also post things in that super secret group, which may or may not exist on Facebook.
Who knows?
And you could post things that may have happened that maybe it's something we didn't talk about that you want us to talk about. And that's what that second episode is there for, is to get more content from you guys that you want us to talk about, things that you want us to cover that we may not have time to do on the one episode a week that we currently do. So if you go to soccercooligans.com, you'll see Join Gully Squad. Click on that. Pick the highest possible value that you can for your situation. It would mean the absolute world to us if you were to join Gully Squad. Yeah, baby, we're back!
We are, and we're absolutely stoked. This is
the culmination of all of this dumbness that is involved, and we had to invite someone much smarter than us.
We needed an expert because people were after weeks of listening to the show and listening to us debate this stuff, they're like, you know what? I'm tired of the show. There's too much stupidity week after week.
Not only that, I feel like even to people who spoke Spanish before English, we've caused so much confusion, even to them.
Yeah.
They forgot what they used to call
We've torn families
straw.
apart.
Yeah.
This is
So look, you guys definitely know who she is. Look, you've seen her on Netflix. You've seen her on old digital channels. You've seen her on her digital channel, Joanna Hausmann Comedy. Ladies and gentlemen, unless you're driving, put your hands together for the one, the only, and our friend. Look, we know cool people. Joanna Hausmann, everybody.
Thank you
Joanna.
so much. Thank you. You said I was an expert. So yes, I'm an expert in linguistics.
Yeah, that is the accent of truth.
Yes,
as we all know.
all British people are experts. It doesn't matter what education or.
You put a lab coat on any British person in a movie, and you're like, we'll trust that guy.
I trust him with my life. Really.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Joanna Hausmann, hello. Yes, we do know Joanna. We all worked together while you were the face of Flama.
Worked, by the way. I
Yeah.
mean, not
did.
much work was going on there. We were just hanging out, doing nothing, and then eventually cameras showed up.
That's basically what my job was. Yeah, I remember when we were building up Flama, I was like, okay, we need like really funny Latinos, and there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
And they rarely get.
And they
a
were all
chance.
busy, so they asked Christian and I.
Yeah, everyone was busy, and then you guys showed up. I don't know why. You were hanging out in our like conference room, and then we shot some stuff.
Christian was there to fix the computers. I was just trying to steal coffee, and they're like, "Hey, do you guys want to be in front of the camera?"
Hey, you guys speak Spanish? All right.
Good enough for us. Univision's digital channel. We're not going to pay you shit.
That's exactly how it goes down.
But it has been great seeing your come up, right? Because that's where we met you. But you started out at comedy at UCB, right? Am I?
Yeah, I was a performer at UCB. I had been at Second City in Chicago.
Okay.
So I was more in the like live comedy world.
Yeah.
And then the internet happened. I mean, the internet happened way before. But
You're like, what is that?
It's here.
Yeah.
Joanna is 48 years old. We just learned now.
Yeah. She bites the heads off bats. That's how she stays young.
You guys know way too much about me. And so then when the internet showed up in my life, I was like, oh, I can make comedy, but way more specific than I can make on stage.
Well, yeah, because you have to be universal when you're on stage. On the internet, it doesn't matter because whoever you're pointing that comedy to whoever's searching for that anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And I'd argue that the more general you are online, the worse your outcome. Like less people are interested in watching it. It's like niche content and identity content is so successful because everyone's connected to the internet and they're just trying to find themselves somewhere in the maze.
It's almost like two Latinos started a soccer podcast.
Yeah, like it's something weird like crazy like that. Yeah.
Only talk about American soccer for the most part.
Even extra niche.
We're getting mad niche right now. Although that success part just hasn't hit us just yet, but we're we're like working towards it.
So that's where we met you, and then you started doing these videos for Flama about called Joanna Rants, right? That was basically the main theme of you finding a particular issue and speaking on it.
But it's also from the viewpoint that I think is something that we've tried to get across on this podcast, which is the word Latino is like such a broad term for people with such different cultures sometimes. You're Venezuelan, right? I'm Cuban, Dominican. Sometimes the things we do don't exactly overlap. We're not all exactly the same just because we were raped by the same boats. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? We're all different. So a lot of your rants come from...
Thanks for the imagery.
Yeah, no problem.
We're getting raped by a boat, not a person.
No,
Think of a Disney boat, though. Like, it's got a face on the front.
Yeah.
It's a little nicer. But you get what I'm saying? It's like...
The splinters alone. Yeah.
Anyway. Well, they oil. Anyway, so what we do sometimes, we try to explain, like, there's no such thing as, like, this universal Latino. Like, we're all different. And it came up in many, many different ways. But that's a lot of what the Joanna Rants have been. And it's inspiring to Latinos because, like, look, finally someone's talking about this.
Well, I think, so the word Latino, as you said, encompasses like over 20 countries, which means like over 20 idiosyncrasies, cultures, etc.
Right.
I mean, even Brazil's put in there. They don't even speak Spanish. So it almost feels like your identity is washed down so that, people called Betty understand what you are.
Yeah.
I know nobody called Betty. I don't know why I use that word. Lauren, Molly, can sort of easily digest who you are and your identity.
Right.
Yeah.
But, I'm a redheaded Jew from Venezuela. Like, no one believes I'm from Venezuela. My Afro-Latino friends, no one believes that they're from Nicaragua or from So it's like, why
People
are
think I'm Asian.
People think you're Asian?
People think I'm Asian.
Yo, you actually look Filipino.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, to be fair, Filipinos are the Latinos of the Asian world. So
I also say that the Jamaicans, because if you ever seen them dance, bruh, Filipinos know how to get down.
they know how to.
Not to generalize, but all of you. No. And they say the days of the week just like us. It's pretty dope.
Wait, really?
De lunes, martes, miércoles.
No, they do not.
100% Filipinos' days of the week is exactly
Oh my
in
God,
Spanish.
I get along with all Filipinos basically, except for their quote unquote president. I don't think he's nice,
Because he's gunning down anyone who uses a drug. Yeah.
No, I'm not a fan of him.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to talk about identity in a way that encompassed everyone. So what's so weird is that, talking about how different we are is a way to unify us, and which is like it doesn't make sense in theory, but in practice it does. Like I'm married to a Colombian, and
I'm sorry to hear that.
half our
I don't know what that means. I'm offended because I was
By the way,
Colombian.
I
I
think
was Colombian throughout the World Cup.
He
So.
was.
Oh
Yeah.
my
His
God,
whole
me
life.
too.
His whole life during the World Cup.
Yeah.
But like most of our relationship, but yeah, most of our relationship is like fake fighting about different things in our cultures that don't really make a difference. Like I call a toilet poseta, and he calls toilets inodoro, and I just find that a horrendous word. I find inodoro way more offensive than poseta, and we fight about it like once a month.
Poseta sounds like what you put in the toilet to use it.
Really? I think it's cute.
I never heard that word before.
Never.
Poseta?
Poseta, no.
Yeah, I didn't know that was just a Venezuelan word. I also didn't know cambur, which is banana in Venezuela, was only a Venezuelan word. I had no idea.
This is one of my most frustrating things. Why are we changing the word banana when it's in Spanish already?
Banana.
Banana.
Banana. Pero es que
Where'd
it's
they
a
put the
cambur.
O in it? He said this thing. He went to a party with Colombians, and they all said banano. And I'm like, why would you just not keep the A? Why are we changing it?
No, because we want to show our special creativity with our words. I don't know what it is.
I think every country wants to be distinct and be a little bit different than their neighbor in some way.
And I've been like breaking down the etymology of some words in Latin America, and some of the histories
My
are
brain
insane.
just froze. Etymology. What is that? I thought we were ordering peas at a Japanese restaurant.
Edamame.
Yeah. I was like,
that's a Spanish cock call.
Yeah.
Edamame.
Edamame. It's like, what's the sixth flavor? Umami. Umami.
Ooh.
Umami.
Etymology. So basically, a lot of these words have really recent histories, and you see how it's so easy for a word to become just a common vernacular in one country, but like it does not share its history with anyone else. So in Venezuela, we have a word that's coroto, and it just means like junk in your house or stuff in your house or literally anything. It's like vaina, but a little classier.
Because
and
it's not Dominican.
I mean,
thank you.
there's actually I don't know
dude.
of a word that's classier in the Spanish language than
Than
vaina.
vaina.
I don't know. I
mean,
never found one.
Well, did we
Vaina-
ever decide if it's V or B?
It depends what you're talking about. Like, que esa vaina. Some Venezuelans don't even do the V. They're just like, que esa vaina.
Sure.
There's no
Oh,
consonant.
Cubans don't use it at all. It's only Dominicans. Cubans don't use vaina at all.
Really?
It's not a thing.
Venezuelans use it a
No,
lot.
it's not only Dominicans.
I'm saying for us because we don't know that many. I don't know.
Colombians use
Venezuelans.
vaina.
Okay.
For us, it's a very Dominican. When we're making fun of Dominicans, like if we're pretending to be a Dominican, we'll use vaina.
Is that part of the life?
I mean, grandma's birthday. Everybody, put on the blackface. No, I'm joking. So,
But people listening
Yeah,
do not know that Alexis not only to pretend to be Dominican, he did a motion.
I did a robot.
like a weird robot. Like we're barely
watch
human.
this on YouTube.
It's so
By
weird.
the way,
'cause
my grandmother's already black, so there's no reason for her to put on blackface.
you look like you were on a Stairmaster.
That's not happening.
No, that's
will
you
not
need to
happen.
really strongly visualize for me to be on a Stairmaster. You know how hard you have to think for that to happen?
It's hard. It's really
yeah. There's smoke coming out of that red hair.
So
of yours.
we brought you here. We brought Joanna Hausmann here because of of Strawgate.
Right.
Strawgate.
Speaking of all these things, yes.
We needed to get at least just a different take on why there are so many different words for this one item that seems incredibly practical.
And not just that, you mentioned how you and your husband argue over something that's never really going to be resolved. That's kind of the Cooligans, right? It's kind of what we do here. But one thing we've realized is there is no right word for straw. Everyone just has their own word for straw. So what do we do with all this? Where do we go from here? So you have a lot on your plate here.
okay, great. So I'm gonna go back to this accent because I feel like so here's my theory. I think that as Latinos, we need a language. What's that language that like people wanted everyone? It was like the language that everyone was going to learn how to speak. It was it's like a non-existent language that they were starting to build out for it's like to replace English.
Ebonics.
I was just about to say that.
Stand-up comedians.
We take nothing seriously.
I forgot what it is. It was basically like a universal. They were trying to create this universal language. I think we're going to have to agree that either we're going to have to learn other people's words, or we're going to have to replace, I think we have to figure out which is the best word for these ridiculous objects such as straw, kite, freaking
You know what?
popcorn. Who
Of all
cares?
things, how did the kite become something that's so argued?
But you know what? I think before we even get to some of the other words, I think this is maybe because we live in America and that the culture of being American is like, hey, this is how learn English when you get here. You have to like immediately adapt to to this country. So as Latin Americans, we're like, this is why it feels so strange to us that there could be so many words in the same language. You know what I mean?
For such innocuous things,
Yes.
like what you said. Who gives? Who cares about a straw? Like, there's no different words for identity or business or conflict.
Yeah.
No, those are all the same.
Yeah.
But for what you eat when you go to the movie theater, there's 27 different ways of saying it.
God forbid a Peruvian on vacation in Uruguay goes to a movie theater. All hell will break loose.
All hell. Well, actually, when I went to Panama,
You were just there.
our word for angry in Venezuela is arrecha, and it means horny in Panama.
Okay.
Okay.
We did a video about this at Flama, and arrecha was the word that I was supposed to use. It's like, oh, you're making me very arrecha. And the other girl was like, ooh, you know? And I'm like, huh? So that one I knew. But how the hell did angry and horny ever get? Because it's the
when
same
you think
word.
about it, they're kind of very similar.
Sure.
Very similar.
You know,
Back in the day,
they live in the same room.
They live in they're in the part of the same family. They're like for sure cousins. That's gross. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm angry that you're horny if that's your cousin.
But like so for example, popcorn, right?
Yeah.
Popcorn has 17 different ways of being expressed in the Spanish language. And I want to break down why the Venezuelan version is cotufa. just so you understand how this happens.
Okay.
Can I just give people a reference?
Sure.
In Dominican and Cuban, some people will say rosita de maíz. So you could see
That's
how
cute.
how different it is to cotufa.
And like,
Cotufa sounds the sound of when your mother hits you with a chancleta.
well, do you know where it comes from?
No.
Okay, check this out. Look at this etymological dissection of the word. So, cotufa actually came from the labeling on the popcorn that would come from the United States. And on it, it would say corn to fry. And that, through time, became cotufa.
Yeah.
This
Corn
is
to
like
fry, cotufa. Like, that is
Yeah.
how it evolved.
That's
that's
great.
like Vive Peru.
Viva Peru.
Viva Peru.
I did not know it was Vicks Vapor Rub until I went to a Dwayne Reed, and I was like, that's so weird, Vicks Vapor Rub. It looks just like Viva Peru. And my friend was like, what? And I'm like, we have that, but back home it's Viva Peru. Vicks Vapor Rub. I was like, oh my.
Yeah. It's
Holy-
like that, you know that movie sequence where the background also gets closer as the camera on your face? Like that trick? It's that every time we see one of these. When
There's
I
a
was
DP following me everywhere doing that.
There's when I was a kid, and I remember when my grandmother would make beefsteak. Vamos a get a beefsteak. It's steak. It's like Cubans make a very like thin, dry steak. Beefsteak. I never thought of it. BISTEC or TEK.
¿Viste?
When I was a kid, I went to a school with white kids in it for 2 years, and they invited me to something called a beefsteak, and I was like, beefsteak. That almost sounds.
Yeah.
The
camera comes
from you.
closer.
Yeah, the call's coming from inside the house.
Well, my favorite is pariguayo.
Pariguayo.
Pariguayo. You know the term pariguayo? Like that's just like a corny dude. The Dominicans say like, oh,
It's a guy at a party that doesn't dance or something like that, right?
Yeah, so that's where it came from. So it was when like American troops were stationed in Dominican Republic. They would have like these gates and like these borders, and the Dominicans would watch them like have a party and stuff like that. So
That'd be mad corny.
so the Americans would call them party watchers, and then that became
Oh.
pariguayo.
My God, that's where it comes from?
That's exactly where it comes
So in other words, America has ruined Latin America, even just in the words, man.
English has seeped into our existence.
Oh, very much so.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, there's no way to really avoid that. It is like this just being American, being here and having that influence, because we are when we're home, when we're raised at home, it was like in a very Spanish-speaking environment, and then you leave, and then it's a completely different world that you have to adapt to. But there is this challenge in conveying, even the people listening to the show. There's a lot of people. There are people in the Midwest that listen to this, and they're like,
Right now, there's a 35-year-old farmer, a white male farmer in Kansas
Yes,
who
that's
listens
right.
to this, and he started using dead ass and gully when he's talking to like his grain distributor. So we're changing
"Dead
lives.
ass?"
Yeah, he said, "Yo, dead ass, give me that grain right now, my guy." You know, he's like, "Hold on, sorry, I just had a brain
But
fart."
it's almost like this, not even responsibility, but this duty a little bit to convey what's going on in our homes to people who don't really understand it, and we have to make it palatable for them.
And also the overlap in soccer is the American soccer fan is the guy at the Cuban guy at the Dominican party asking for a bag saying "Dame la java," and nobody knows what a java is. Did you guys know java is?
No.
Cubans use java for bag.
Yes, I do.
For what?
Like
Bag?
bolsa.
Is Hawa?
Java. Dame la java.
Hava,
Yeah.
Nagila, Hava.
Well, that's because we have Jews in Cuba, and they have bags. So they brought bags with them when they came.
We have a bunch of bags, guys.
Just they're very popular with bags.
Oh, yes.
So my thing is like the American soccer fans, we get made fun of across the pond for saying PK for penalty kick instead of just a penalty, or
Oh, interesting.
road game instead of an away match. Things like that. Like we get made fun of for those things. Soccer instead of football. So there's this sort of correlation of like these words that we have this pride of using,
Yeah.
and no one else uses it. I still say hava. I still say that.
Yeah.
We
I
say
mean, no one will know what you're talking
a
about.
shirt is a pullover because you pull it over. That's
Pullover.
right. Un pullover.
Un
I mean,
pullover.
you don't say that if there's buttons. That's a camisa.
But if a cop says pull over, that's a different
I'm
thing.
like,
Okay.
okay, you can have it, but I'm gonna keep driving drunk.
And also like just the term soccer, like the word soccer, that is a purely American word.
No, the English made it up.
The English made it up, yeah.
It's
Okay.
short. It's association football.
So why do they say why does they still say football then?
All three sports are football: rugby, gridiron, which we call NFL, and association football, which is soccer. So to separate it from the other sports, they started using the first word: rugby, gridiron, and association. Shorten association to a sock becomes soccer. That's the term they used. Then they switched to football
They
in
switched
the
to-
fucking 80s.
Oh, they switched in the 80s because now it is. I feel like the only people that say soccer are
It's us
people in
and
the-
Australians and
Oh, Australians too.
Yeah, they call themselves the Socceroos.
Oh, because they have a lot of rugby too.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that you do great accents. You have
That's
a bunch of
insane.
videos. If you guys are listening, go to Joanna Hausmann's YouTube channel and subscribe. It's incredible.
Thank you so much.
But what are some of your favorite accents? Because you do a lot.
Although
of them very,
you
very well.
mad disrespect for the Cuban accent, you say we swallow our tongue. I saw that video.
O lo que pasa es que los cubanos tienen una cosa ahí en la boca.
I gotta be honest, beautiful sound. Okay. Like, is Joanna singing again?
It sounds like either that or like I just got 4 teeth removed and I still have Novocaine on my mouth. I love the Colombian accent, specifically from Medellin, because it sounds like Sean Connery telling you a really sad story. So it's like, ay no, pues es que imagínate yo, es que yo estaba allá y de repente vino mi mejor amigo y me recogió, no vale. And it was just like it's like what she said is nothing. It's
Yeah.
just facts. It's not a
But
sad
there's-
story.
There's like an acoustic guitar playing
In the corner
background.
with like blue lighting.
Yeah.
It's everything is like tragic.
It's like that Portuguese music Fado is playing in the background. Everyone's crying.
Everyone's crying.
She's actually just talking about going to the store, guys.
Yeah, she's just neat. That's it.
You know, what I think would be fun because you love doing the Colombian accent. I just thought this right now. How about, and we do a soccer show. Would you mind reading in a Colombian accent the football MLS Twitter account? So this is
Oh
just
my God, yes.
It's just a tweet. I'm trying to find this one. So Zlatan just re-signed with the
Yeah,
Los
with
Angeles
LA
Galaxy.
with LA
So
Galaxy.
Joanna Hausmann is going to announce that the
my
Colombian Joanna Hausmann.
Es oficial. El León se queda. La Galaxy ha fichado a Ibra Oficial a un nuevo contrato.
Bravo.
I mean, it's like, why is it so serious?
Well, Venezuelans are. It's so funny because of the Venezuelan crisis, a lot of Venezuelans have moved to Colombia, and a lot of my friends are like marrying Colombians. So there's this weird hybrid of like Colombo Venezolano now.
And you're doing it here.
And we're
okay?
doing it here. We're just like everywhere. It's kind of like we're very similar in our foods, in our customs, in everything.
La Gran Colombia.
La
right?
Gran Colombia.
Yeah.
We're very, very similar. But truthfully, in my opinion, Colombians are way more serious and like como respectful.
Yeah.
And Venezuelans are like the drunk cousin.
Yeah.
So
Hey! Hey, look who's here.
Like, because
Vino tinto.
Venezuelans would have read this like this. Where's the tweet? Let me find it. Venezuelans would have read it like this. Es oficial, el León se queda, la Galaxia ha fichado a Ibra oficial en un nuevo contrato, coño.
Yeah, that sounds like a party.
Yeah, are you kidding me?
Yo, I'm
We're getting lit.
Did somebody open sangria in the back?
Yes.
That's great. That's great. So look.
But hold on a second. Can we talk a little bit about the Dominican accent? Because it's the most sing-songy. It's very hard.
I think you guys sound like you're speaking
volume
in
is
cursive.
going up and down.
It's like a sine curve. Yes, it's
Okay.
like. Pero every time I do it, I feel like I sound Cuban. I have not been able to figure out how to do the Dominican accent.
I have
¿Qué
always
pasó,
have to-
tigre?
I always have to start with, pero chico, ¿qué
Tío,
dice?
pero
¿por qué
¿qué
tú
es esto?
haces
Pero ¿qué
esto?
tú haces?
Yeah. It's a very like, whoa, when's the word gonna end? You know?
Yeah,
Like-
because I hear it, and I have this very, maybe you have this with Venezuelans as well, where like when you hear it, especially you something happens. It's like in your blood. You're like, oh, all right, I'm home. right
Yeah.
now.
Like
but-
when I hear like, oh yeah, chico, pero qué? And I'm like, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
That's me.
Yeah, now we're
I'm
doing
Chico.
it.
So,
Yeah.
so when there's definitely like Santo Domingo, Santiago, like un
Of course, we're
jíbaro,
talking
like
about the
you
general-
hear, but I don't know. Like there's something about the Dominican accent, especially when it's like spoken from like an educator, that I'm like, yo, this sounds better than any fucking language you're ever gonna hear. Like this, like it's what you're hearing. Like obviously Omega and like all these dudes or whatever. Like the slang, this Dominican slang is incredibly popular. Mira lo loco, que lo que.
You know what it is? It's that,
You guys are honestly insane. I just
but there's such an abundance of dope things to say in Dominican slang
Yeah.
that I'm just like, all right, we'll use it. That's me now.
like calling your friend tigre. Are you like
Yeah.
that's amazing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I want to be called a tiger. Are you kidding
Yeah.
me?
Dominican Republic is like the fun cousin from like Jersey. You know, they're a little high, they're a little drunk, they're having a good time. They're gonna go away
And they're
soon.
nice.
Yeah, they're
and
nice.
they're like nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
like-
still remember when I was talking to this dude who was Dominican. I was talking to him, and we were talking in Spanish, and everything was fine. And then his friend called, and he picked up the phone, and something happened. Like,
Sure.
he hit a filter in Photoshop, and everything changed. And he was like, "Diga, vamos a la discoteca. ¿Qué tú
Bueno, tú
dices?"
estás diciendo. Bueno,
And I'm like, I couldn't understand. I was like, "Whoa, what happened?"
I feel like we do a certain level of code switching, but there's various types of code switching, I think, for people like us, which is I speak Spanish. The way I speak Spanish to a Venezuelan is different than the way I speak Spanish to just Latino.
Yeah.
But there's also, like, the way that I speak to a Caribbean Latino is different than what I speak to, for example, an Argentinian. I have trouble understanding
Ugh,
Argentinian.
imagine having to speak to Argentinians.
Che, yo no entiendo cómo se hace.
I honestly hate you for saying.
Vos no tenés idea de lo que estás hablando. And
I love that you
You
were speaking and your lips didn't touch each other.
Yeah, this is how you have to speak Argentinian like this.
Pero es que, ¿qué te
Pero
pasa?
I did.
¿Qué te pasa?
I closed out a show on Saturday at New York Comedy Club, and this guy comes up to me. He's like, "Man, you were funny," and I was like, "Thanks." He's like, "Eres latino de verdad?" And I'm like, "Sí." He goes, "Impresionante, boludo, eres impresionante."
Boludo,
¿Qué-"
eres increíble.
But he asked me in a mad general accent.
Sure.
Habla español, ¿sí? I'm like, yeah. Pero qué dice? You know,
It's like removes this mask. And like, yeah, I can be
I can be
myself.
myself.
he's like on stage by himself. You know, it's so
Absolutely.
Italian-ish.
Oh yeah, well they're like it's basic.
They think they're Italian.
Argentina is what? Yeah, but there's a lot of Italians there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's the third largest Italian community outside of Italy.
They eat more pizza
Outside
per
of-
capita than
more
we do.
More than Bensonhurst, Brooklyn? I don't
Yeah.
think so.
God forbid.
God forbid.
Imagine your grandmother heard that. You're
You know
lucky
what?
she's
You know, I
listening.
think here's the thing. I think that like this accent is the American equivalent of like Italians talking in English.
Yeah.
And then en español se volvió esto.
It's the
like,
same
this is in
thing.
Spanish. It's like
It's the same thing. Instead of they're like smoking cigarettes outside in tight clothing versus, being in a deli. It's really the
It's
difference.
truly the same.
Yeah.
You did mention the relationship between Colombia and Venezuela, and I remember just watching this. Now it's gonna get very serious. A documentary. One of those Facebook videos that came up, and it was like 20 minutes, which is who has that kind of time anymore? But I watched it, and
So you is the answer.
And they did mention a huge flow of migrants going into Colombia,
Cucuta, yeah, through Cucuta. Mm-hmm.
and that Colombia is being very welcoming
Yes.
of the Venezuelans because when Colombia was going through a lot of their stuff with narcotraficantes, they are
Venezuela welcomed them.
accepted. a bunch
Yeah,
of people.
Venezuela was very open.
So what is
Arepas for everybody.
maybe a little what's the history of that relationship? Maybe if you can talk
Well,
about it.
I think so. Venezuela was like the crown jewel of Latin America. It had the most stable democracy in the region, and it was truly. It was just offensively rich. Like it was.
Oil,
you had
right?
oil,
Yeah.
and a lot of industry went there. A lot of multinational companies went there. It was basically like a hub. It was.
A lot of Americans too. Like
Yeah.
baseball was the most popular sport, even above soccer, there for a long time.
It was like the Switzerland, but fun.
Yeah. Well, it's
of
like what
Latin
Cuba
America.
was before communism. Cuba
Yeah.
was the one where like Americans could easily get there. The businesses were very influential. Venezuela sort of took that on.
Yes, very much so. And during that time, Colombia, especially during the 80s, and 90s, and honestly until very recently, Colombia was in a consistent and perpetual war. Narcotráfico was Pablo Escobar. They were just, it was
Or
honestly.
just like the guerrillas in the...
Las guerrillas, la
yeah.
FARC.
Yeah, FARC, that's the word.
La
I was looking
FARC.
for.
And, Colombians were dying, and it was an incredibly unsafe country. And Venezuela was a safe haven. And a lot of Colombians moved to Venezuela during this time. And actually, a lot of Chileans during Pinochet also went to Venezuela. Venezuela was basically, well, why do you think my Jewish self is from Venezuela?
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
just like, come in. Like, they were very welcoming to immigrants, Italian immigrants.
Do you know where your family originated from?
They were on my dad's side, they're German Jews and they're basically Polish. We're all Polish. It was
Okay.
Polish Jews basically, and then my mom's side, Venezuelan and Cuban, just 100%. Yes,
All right, I
cubano,
didn't know
¿qué?
she was... there it is.
So during those decades, Venezuela was very much welcoming to European immigrants, but also immigrants in Latin America of regimes that were and countries that were going through very difficult economic and political times.
Yeah, so for the farmers listening, that wasn't very common in Latin America because of all the arguing.
Yeah.
So just trying to give a little bit. That's very special. Venezuela was
we
opened
don't
the
have
doors.
all the time in the world, but what is how can we sum up what's happening in Venezuela right now?
Oh my God, there's so much to say.
And how
I'll
was
try
your
to sum it
family?
up. My family is not great.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's okay, but we're gonna get through it. We're getting people out slowly but surely. Venezuela is going through, I think, if not the biggest, one of the biggest economic disasters of this century. It has an inflation rate of over 1 million. It's truly insane.
I saw that there were people selling like arts and crafts made out of the money. Like,
Yes,
that's how
the money is worthless. It costs, the paper costs more money than the
value
the
of it.
El Bolívar.
Yeah.
So
that happened when I was in Costa Rica when I was a kid. The colones is their currency. And someone made a bowl out of it. Like, they just glue it to the outside of a bowl. And I was like, yo, how could you do that? And the guy was like, yeah, 1,100 colones is like
nothing.
the American dollar. So don't even worry about it.
You like a stack of Venezuelan bolívares is like equivalent to 5 cents. It's like insane. But simultaneously, there's a lot of political repression. There's political prisoners. Caracas is the murder and kidnapping capital of the world. So you have like a way to synthesize this is like a metaphor of there's this, really popular guy in high school who was on the football team. He was like, magna cum laude or whatever. And then suddenly when you go back to the high school reunion, you find out that he's like a drug addict who's been sleeping on his sister's couch and has like become nothing. It's kind of like that in that there's so much potential for this country, but the wrong people have been in power and Hugo Chavez, what people don't know is that he overspent so much money. He was spending money like crazy. That's why he had so much support. He was just like hemorrhaging money everywhere. And then the oil prices went down. And when the oil prices went down, the
Ponzi scheme fell apart.
The Ponzi scheme fell apart, and now we are at a huge deficit. The country cannot function economically. It's not functioning. And we have right now one of the biggest refugee crises of these years. It's like Syria and Venezuela is very, like, a tenth of our population has left in the past year.
Well, you just said that Caracas is the kidnapping and murder capital. Caracas, folks, has beaten ISIS in the rankings. That's a big deal.
The power rankings.
The power rankings.
It's like, where would it be more deadly? ISIS country or Caracas? And it's Caracas. And Caracas has Venezuela has no enemies. Venezuela is the 4th most oil-rich country in the world. Venezuela is surrounded by people, like, they're not like Israel that's like surrounded by,
Enemies,
enemies.
no.
There's no reason. There's no reason for us to be in this situation.
Yeah.
It's like you get a test and all you had to do was sign your name and return it. No, it's like they took a massive dump on it and returned it.
Alexis has failed that test several times.
Yeah, why do you poop on your test, man?
I can't remember my name, so I revert to what I know.
Oh my
I revert to what I know, folks.
Oh my God. So anyway,
Look at all the corn in there.
Okay.
You
So,
Oh, you brought it back to corn.
so I'm curious.
Corn to fry.
Look at all the
Thank you for
rositas.
some of the insight, because I didn't know exactly how bad it was. But I'm curious. In regards to the soccer team, the national team,
Oh, la
Venezuelan
Vino Tinto.
Vino Tinto. They
And
are
Joseph Martinez.
Yeah,
who
Joseph
just,
Martinez.
A
I know-
Venezuelan just won
Yeah,
the
young
most
Ye-
goals in MLS.
Oh my God,
MVP.
really?
Yangel Herrera from
Oh my God.
NYCFC. So there's a couple people that represent the country very well, and
That's awesome.
I know Joseph Martinez does talk about his roots and where he came from, and how, especially with what's going on in Venezuela, how inspiring it can be, for the kids there to have something to look forward to,
Absolutely.
especially in dire straits. What's the Vino Tinto mean to you?
La Vino Tinto. Listen, for me, I'm not a big sports person. I don't even know.
because you just said sports person.
I don't even know what the back of in basketball. I don't know what the back thing of the hoop is. I don't know.
It's the butt of the basket.
I don't know what that is. I don't know. But let me tell you, it is impossible to separate soccer from being Venezuelan. And Latino in general.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
soccer is it's just a thing that you do, and it's a thing that you watch, and it's something that fills you with pride. Specifically, I think when your country itself fills you with so much sadness.
Yeah.
Having something that is just inherently positive, like La Vino Tinto, which I've gone to see live. Is that how you say it?
Yes.
It's like when you see
Yeah.
Beyonce in concert.
I really hope they do stuff from their first album.
Their
Vino
show.
Tinto.
I went to their show. And it is like it's identity, and it's a form of celebrating your national identity without having to get political and having to remember, the trials and tribulations of anything that your country's going through. So La Vino Tinto is like everyone loves La Vino Tinto. Like who doesn't like La Vino Tinto?
Yeah.
And like when La Vino Tinto didn't classify for the World Cup, it was like awful. I was just like, can't we just have
Can we
one
win?
thing?
Let's win something.
Please. It's like
This is Joseph Martinez, by the way.
I love it.
He
Tattoos,
plays for Atlanta
cuts in the
United.
eyebrows.
Honestly, he looks like my swimming instructor from back home.
I hope that's who that is, though, to be 100%.
Incredible.
Yeah.
That's it's cool because it does. I felt that way when the U.S. missed out on the World Cup. Can we have
Yeah,
one
oh.
thing? I'm kidding.
As Americans,
Global
we just,
domination is not enough for us.
somebody promised we would win so much we'd be bored of it by now.
what was the last game you saw with Venezuela? Was it here or in Venezuela?
It was here. It was actually in Boston.
Okay.
Yeah, against the U.S. team.
Oh, nice.
And Venezuela won.
All right.
And I
We
was
don't
like,
have to bring it up.
either way. I was like what you said. I'm like, U.S. has too much. You guys have Beyonce. Like, you fucking relax.
She's a center back. She's really good.
It's fine. And
Who's the
we-
Venezuelan Beyonce? Is there Venezuela? Who's?
Is it just Shakira? Like,
don't
because
know.
you love
Shakira's
Colombia?
Colombian.
I said because you love Colombia that much.
I don't know what the Venezuelan Beyonce is.
What's the,
I thought
the main
Shakira was
music?
Lebanese, by the way.
Salsa or cumbia? That's like really the main thing in Venezuela, or is it both?
Right now, it's like a mix of like a reggaeton and our main thing is merengue. Merengue and salsa is like at
Really?
every
Merengue?
party. Merengue is
Okay.
huge for us, like Dominicans.
Yeah.
It came from DR,
Yeah,
didn't
that's
it?
right. Yeah. We invented music.
Okay, let's take a little
Yeah.
chill pill.
Wow.
Just because you
the most cute,
talk
the most
in
Dominican
music,
thing. Yeah, exactly. Well, they do sing everything they say. That's a good point.
Every word is bars.
Yeah,
all right? It's
yeah.
all bars.
Dique. Oh, hold on.
Pero
Drop the
lo
beat.
que te va pasando aquí.
Well, Joanna, a couple things before we let you go, because you are on the Netflix show Bill Nye Saves the World.
Yes, Queen.
What was that experience like?
It was really fun. Just becoming.
What's Bill like?
He's
Yeah.
He's the best.
Behind the lab coat.
Who was it? Was it you that was on the subway with him?
Yeah, we went out to dinner, and then he was like, "I don't want to take a taxi," so we went on the subway, and I was like, "How do you live your life?"
Bill
People
Nye.
stick like because he's not like. He's not like a Brad Pitt where people would be like, "Oh my God, that's Brad Pitt, leave him alone." It's like that's fucking Bill Nye.
Yo, let's go fuck around with Bill Nye. Yeah.
It's like he's like an icon. He's not just a celebrity. So it is insane.
Yeah.
People he is so whatever. Anyway,
I heard he's sharp too because he did stand up for a while. I heard
he's very
like,
smart. He's very
He's
smart.
very funny too.
He's very funny and he's just very nice. Like once you're his friend, like he's really real and kind and
He's
wonderful.
the Beyonce of science.
He actually is the Beyonce of I mean,
Yeah.
and Neil deGrasse Tyson is like the.
Michelle Williams, Kelly Rowland.
No, I honestly think there's something like Lady Gaga.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
The
A little
Lady
more
Gaga.
eccentric.
Yeah.
I want to see
a
him
little
in
bit
a
more
meat
eccentric.
suit.
Yeah, like
Where's meat dresses?
yeah, I'm sure he does. But yeah, it was great, and it was just fun to use comedy to educate people on science stuff.
Especially in this day and age.
Especially in this day and age where a lot of people are like, science, what? Here's a Bible.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. Science, can't trust it.
I can't trust facts.
Yeah, here's a book we don't know the authors of.
Did you feel like you had to be science it up, like speak smarter when you were in like meetings and stuff?
No,
Speak
I
smarter.
think the
It's
whole
all a bunch of scientists in the room,
I
probably.
think the whole point was making it so people that had a hard time passing biology in high school could watch and understand and
Okay.
like it. Do you know Alexis is raising his hand?
Yeah.
Alexis doesn't know where babies come from.
No.
He needs that bio.
Of course, I do know people who don't wear condoms. Thank you very
Oh,
much.
there you go. Oh, good
they
thing.
also go to hell.
Yeah, because if you don't wear a condom, then the stork comes. We all know how it
We
goes.
all know how it goes.
Yeah.
It's in the Bible.
The stork can smell the condom.
Okay.
And it knows to stay away. It's 100%.
I remember my first class at UCB. It was with Eric Tenoy. Do you remember Eric Tenoy?
Yeah, I know Eric.
And
I really hope it's a biology class.
no, but I remember he said, speak like you know what you're talking. Like basically, speak at like your highest intelligence, right?
Yeah.
And that's sort of as comedians when we're put like we're in sometimes we're in a soccer space and everybody is all soccer and knows all this soccer stuff and we're like, all right, well we can't just be a bunch of dupes out here, right?
Yeah, we
can't
got to
just be
show
dummies.
we're supposed to be here right now.
Yeah.
So it sometimes.
And
we
by the
may
way,
not-
that is me trying.
Yeah,
that
sometimes
is
we may
us.
not know exactly what we're talking about, but we can package it in
Yeah.
a way.
Never
that-
stop me, bro.
Well, people are like, oh, this
Of
guy
course.
definitely knows what he's talking about, kinda.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I think I had to prepare before every field piece.
Okay.
So I would also interview a scientist beforehand. So I'd go in there with some baseline knowledge. But I think the funniest moments are the moments where I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm just like,
But you can be
completely
yourself.
lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. But I think functioning at your highest intelligence also means like being curious and following the what versus knowing what you're talking about. Like instead of being like, I don't get it, it's like, wait, why is it that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's trying to uncover and discover things, I think,
Sure.
is a way to cover up how dumb I am.
Yeah. I'd very much lean to. I don't get it.
Yeah.
What is?
I like to mush the person talking, so I still look like an alpha.
You know what's crazy? Our president does that. So
Yeah, I know. Well, where do you think I learned it from? I watch Home Alone too a lot. You know.
oh my God, he was that. He was in
Yeah,
that
he was
movie.
in that. Yeah, he was.
He's a superstar. Anyway, Joanna Hausmann, thank you so much.
Thank you,
for
guys.
being on the show. I hope I feel like this might be one of the first times where we didn't really have like a straight up soccer person.
I'm
so sorry.
We want, but no.
How
but-
dare you.
But we want some people. Some of our fans have been asking like, hey, we should get more comedians on the show to mix it up.
Yeah.
And,
Although
yeah.
we do need you to vote. What is the appropriate word for straw? This is Joanna Hausmann's vote.
I think it's pitillo.
PTO.
We can't have that.
I mean, it's a deadlock. It's a hung jury.
All right, well,
I'm really sorry, but etymologically speaking, is which one? Wait, which one?
Absorbente. So
That is ridiculous.
That's
Absolutely
that's
not.
not. It is not. First
How
of all,
many
it's beautiful
syllables do
sounding.
you need for such a simple thing?
Absorbente is also like papel absorbente is what you absorb with. You don't absorb stuff through a
You
straw.
do.
suck it through
100%.
a
You
straw.
absorb the liquid through the straw. I don't know.
No,
what
you
you're
don't.
talking about.
And what is your word?
Sorbeto. That's what I usually go
So
with.
real quick, how this happened was Mexican restaurant lady comes over, says to me, popote. And I was like, okay, I'm married.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I was like, huh? And she goes, popote. It's him, Dominican, next to him, dude from El Salvador. And I was like, what? And he goes, that's a straw. And I go, don't you mean absorbente? And then in a very sort of cunty tone, he goes, it's sorbeto. And I'm like, what the hell is that? No one's ever said
That's
that.
me. Yeah.
And I was like, it's absorbente. And he's like, no, it is not. And then the Salvi kid goes like, no, it's not. It's popote. And I was like, what? Straw. And the lady's just like waiting there to see if
just
I
like,
need straw.
do you want a goddamn
Yeah.
straw that's gonna murder
then-
sea turtles or not?
Yeah, please. Please take the straw.
Yes.
And then this, somehow we brought it up in the podcast, and it's just exploded. And now you've added a new one.
Pitillo.
So,
Hi, listeners. Just so you know, the real word for straw is pitillo.
coming from a British woman?
It has to be true.
Estro. That's we're all changing it to
El
estro.
estro.
Joanna, where can people follow you and see your work?
Follow me on YouTube, Joanna Hausmann. That's Hausmann. I know it's stupid. It should have been just spelled the normal way. And then follow me on Instagram, Joe House. Johaus.
And yeah, she does absolutely great work. Like I said before, her YouTube channel is unreal, so funny. So please check her out.
And we're all in a bunch of videos with her in the past. So it's
Yeah.
really
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. I did the Argentina intervention,
That's
So
hilarious.
which was really fun.
That's
I
one of my
did
favorite videos.
shit
Yeah.
white Latinos say.
And you said you look like someone on Irish Money.
Yeah.
And I use that to this day
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
describe like for
they asked
podcasts
me-
like this, it's like, so what do you look like? It's like, okay, speakers, like listeners, close your eyes. Think about a woman on Irish Money, and that's me.
Well, they go, the director, I think it was Chris. I think
Chris,
it was,
yeah.
was it Chris? He was like, I don't know, just riff a couple things of what you look like. And I think the third one was like, ugh, you look like you're on Irish Money. Like,
Yeah.
you can't be Latino. You look like you're on Irish Money. And you were like in the doorway. You had to leave because you were laughing. And I was like, that's the one they'll use. They ended up not using it, I don't
No,
think.
it is.
Oh,
That's
is
the
it?
one that's
okay,
used.
that's the one that's used.
That's
Cool.
what.
Alexis didn't even watch his own video.
No. I know I got over 1 million hits, so just celebrated, didn't
Yeah,
watch
all
it.
because of Alexis.
Yeah.
I think it might be my fault that we did that video because when I first met you, you put me in that stupid elf costume.
Oh my
and then
God.
you were like, Ponte allá or something. You said something. I was like, whoa, where'd you learn Spanish?
And
you
I
were
was
like,
I was like, oh, this has just happened to me every day of my life.
And you said something. And then like the next call I got from Flama was like, do you want to be in this video of shit white Latinos thing?
Yeah, you
and I was
offended
like,
our host. Do you want to?
oh, God, this is my fault.
It's
There's that lack of filter.
no, you know, every single human being I ever meet when I tell them I'm from Venezuela has like, it's as if I'm David Blaine and it just made their car disappear. They're like,
Yeah. yeah. How'd you do it?
how do you do it again?
Say something else.
It's funny 'cause I brought my girlfriend to Dominican Republic earlier this year, and she does not speak Spanish, but she
And she never came back, by the way. She has a whole
She's still
family.
there.
Yeah.
she loves her ditch. Leave her alone. I'm kidding. But she loves dancing. She knows how to dance really well to merengue and bachata and everything. And that was the thing that they just couldn't believe. They saw her dancing like a
they're like,
bachata. They were like,
When she dances, you think,
Yeah, you
you
would
think like a Dominican woman put on the costume of a white woman.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
She
Legit.
takes
She's
classes?
yeah, she's a very very.
But
good
like even like the little movement, like little things, you think
little
it's like
subtle-
cultural.
Which is like the little hip.
Yeah,
the-
oh,
no,
yeah.
When you
That's
like
a very
lift your hip a little bit.
signature Dominican-
Yeah.
Everything, it feels like she's culturally Latino.
That's amazing.
But she has the face of a German woman, you know? So like when I'm sure when people saw her dance, they were like, everyone come to the town square. You know, Brujeria. You know?
La Blanca está bailando.
It's all over for us. We've lost everything. They learned to dance.
Joanna Hausmann, we usually do a thing whenever we end the show with a guest. We yell the Cooligans.
And you'll know when.
It's like a fun thing. It'll all make sense. So you just
Trust me, you'll know exactly what I'm
join
doing.
in. When we
And there's
do
a
it.
camera right there that's hanging down. You see that stick coming down?
Yeah.
There's a camera
That's the
there.
camera
So that's
you're
what we're
be
going to
looking at.
point.
So
Has that been recording?
You've been on camera. There's 3 cameras here.
You've
You've
been
been on camera the whole
entire
time.
I've been on camera.
we forgot to tell you this.
You can't hear it. Maybe you could actually. She, let's say, flipped the bird.
Yeah.
She gave you the Caracas hello.
I've been touching my hair the entire time. Like,
look-
I could just be myself.
Well, you were.
You were.
I was myself.
So, for Joanna Hausmann, my name is Cristian Polanco.
My name is Alexis Absorbente Guerreros.
And together, what are we?
The Cooligans!
Nailed it.
What's up? It's the world champion, Judah Friedlander, and you're watching the Cooligans. Why? Because you're cool. This is what winners look like right here, man.
I mean, you're looking at us.
Right now with my legs, I just juggled the ball 80,000 times.
You missed it.
Yeah.
He's been playing keepy uppy since I met him.
Yep, look faster, guys.
Go Team USA.